Again, welcome to BBA311, Technology in the Workplace. We'll do a quick overview of the syllabus. If you go here in Moodle, click on the syllabus, open the file. First thing in here, you have your course information, course name, number, cohort number, start date, end date. First thing I have in there is the instructor information. I also included my instructor availability, giving you my email address and then my cell phone number. Please call my cell phone anytime, 24 hours a day, because when I am asleep I shut my phone down and it will not wake me up. But as soon as I see that you left me a message, and please do leave me a message, I will get back to you as soon as I can. Now, that being said, most of the time if you leave me a message or try to call me, I'm going to ask you to ask your question in the Q&A forum. I understand sometimes it's a question around your personal information and you don't want to ask in the Q&A, so call me or email me at any time. But if it's a question about an assignment or about a subject, I'm probably going to ask you to ask in the Q&A forum. It's just the easiest way. If you have the question, most of the time somebody else can have the question. I like to have that all in there so that everybody can see the answer. And then also, if you have a question where you think everybody would benefit but you don't want to be the one to ask, that's no problem. Just go ahead and email it to me or call me, and then sometimes I'll add in the Q&A and say a student had this question and somebody else may as well. Again, I want you to read the syllabus, so I'm not going to hit all of the points, but here's a course description, text, the software, and the course objectives. So I'll expect you to read that on your own. Here's the part that I wanted to go over, the assignment overviews. The individual homework assignments, these are, most of these are out of your technology plugins. These are very, very good homework assignments in that if you know how to do what is being asked of you, you can just knock out these assignments and nothing flat. But if it's something that is a little challenging to you, these plugins are really good about giving you step-by-step directions on how to do them. So I think they're pretty self-explanatory, but if you need more work or anything out of me, please let me know. If you need me to do a screencast where I can work up the solutions and post them out there for everybody, please let me know. But like I say, for the most part, they have step-by-step directions, and it's a good chance for you to learn as you do. One thing I'm going to do, and please remind me if I don't do it, but I'm thinking about adding an optional assignment to do instead of the week 4. The week 4 plugin is a good plugin, but it's mainly around Microsoft Project and MS Access. I know that you have probably just finished up a class where you learned about everything you want to learn in Microsoft Project. So thinking about adding an assignment in there where you can build your own assignment and do something with a spreadsheet that you've always wanted to do. I'm going to give some examples around that, and we'll discuss that further in the course. The next thing on here is the individual emerging trends discussion and presentation. This is kind of a tricky assignment, and I want to make sure that everybody understands. If for some reason you have any question about it, please ask in the Q&A forum. But read through this and see if it makes sense. But starting in the first class, you're going to come up with a emerging trend that you want to follow. I want you to come out here to Moodle, and right here in the top section of the emerging trends, I want you to click on here, and you're going to add a discussion, and you can look at the example right here. You're going to put your name dash your subject. It's very important that you do this because you are going to add to the subject each week. You're going to throw an article out there, and please don't include the entire article, just put a link to the article in Moodle, and you're going to talk about what research you've done on your subject for the week. Now, there's two parts to this assignment. You also need to look at what everybody else is putting out there and comment on their subjects. By the end of the course, I want there to be a comment from every student on every subject. Doing this because part of the paper, and when we get down to the paper part, I'll discuss this more, your you want to answer some questions about the subject, and one of them is how does it affect your life, and then how does it affect life of your peers. That information you can gather in from the information that other people give you. I am a firm believer that you will learn more from everyone in your cohort than you will any one professor you have throughout this throughout your entire experience here at Baker. It's very important to learn what the strengths of your everyone in your cohort are, because you're going to learn a lot of it. You're going to learn a lot, and you're going to get a lot of good information from everyone. So anyway, down here when we talk about our final paper, this is going to be a 6 to 8 page response to the questions below about your emerging trend that you have chosen. What is the technology? What are the promises? What are some potential downsides of the new technology and trends? How has the technology changed your life and society? How has the technology promoted efficiency? How has the technology changed others you know? That's where I want you to get this information from the other people in your cohort. And then what is the future of the technology? I think this is a real fun assignment. It gives you a chance to do something on the subject that you want to do, something that you choose. So please have fun with it, but keep the writing very professional. I'm okay with a little bit of first person, especially if you're choosing a technology such as, if you chose an iPad and you just got an iPad and you want to talk about how it's affecting everyone and the industry, then I'm okay with a little bit of language in there about how, a first person language about I bought an iPad and this is what I've done with it. So we definitely want to keep that in an MLA format, but like I said, I'm okay with a little bit of first person in that. Okay, then last thing you have on your individual work is your final. For online students, it says take home, and it's take home in that you have more than 2 hours to take this final. The final is going to come from your quiz questions. So as you're taking your quizzes, be sure and note anything that you didn't know right away or anything that you feel like you're going to need for the future, because your final is going to be a series of questions taken from all of the quizzes throughout the course, and then in addition to that there's going to be some essay type questions. They're going to be very straightforward, and if you do all of your reading, you're going to have no problem at all answering that. And like I said, I'm going to give you about 2 hours for that final, but like I said, it's not quite a take-home. It's open book, open notes, of course, but you're going to be limited to about 2 hours to take that final. The last thing we have in our assignments, the learning team case studies and presentations. I will let you know what team you are whenever I find out what your team makeup is. But you can look here. If you're team A, you're going to have a series of cases, and there's page number and information on what case you actually need to do. Okay, and then the final part of this, I've been toying with this for a while, but I know that a lot of students feel like they have team members who are underperforming and there's nothing they can do about it. Well, right here is your chance to do something about it. Your learning team has a 10% say in your grade, so the 100 points out of the 1,000 is going to come from your learning team. So be sure and be a team player and keep up, and also be very honest in these surveys. Whenever you fill these out, if you have a team player that's not doing their part, here's a good chance to give them a little wake-up call. That being said, I would also appreciate it if you're having problems with a team member, try to take care of that. That's part of this experience here at Baker, is taking care of learning about team experiences. I think it's very important for you to know that I believe that learning teams are one of the best parts about going to school at Baker. I know that I have students that come up and say they don't like learning teams. Well, know that if you come to me and say, well, I hate learning teams are stupid, that you're talking to somebody who believes in the concept of learning teams. You're going to be dealing with teams your entire career. There's no way around it. So I believe that that's one of the most important experiences that you get out of the entire program. All right, and then if you look down here to the grading criteria, you can see how your point makeup comes out to. Your emerging trends, the articles and discussions are 95 points. Individual homework comes up to 200 points. Weekly forums, 120 points. Weekly quizzes, I keep those a little bit low because it's not my intention to trick you at all, but those quizzes tell me if you read or if you didn't, so I just kind of keep that in there to keep us all honest and to make sure that you do the reading. This is a great textbook. Can't say enough good things about this textbook. Very short chapters, very to the point. I would say almost zero fluff in these chapters. Very good textbook. So I think it's very important that you read that, and then you can, if you read the chapters, you're going to have no problem with the quizzes. 140 points on your emerging trends paper and presentation, 10 points for the syllabus sign-off, and then 75 points for your final. Then your learning team assignments, that's 300 points. 200 points of those are the case studies, and then 100 points are the score from the learning team evaluation. All of this is in Moodle down here from the class schedule and assignments, but please, if you want a good little one-pager, right here is the best place to print that out. This should match Moodle 100%. If for any reason it doesn't, please alert me, because it is always supposed to match. I've checked points, everything should be lined up exactly. But you can keep this in your book right here. You know, if you want to print this one page out, throw it in the book. It's a good way to let you know exactly what you have to read and what your homework is for, and then the point distributions out here and the date that they're due. I believe the last thing I really want to say in here, in the instructor expectation section here, it's very, very important that you read the textbook. As I said before, I can't say enough good things about this textbook. Missed and individual assignments. I understand that things come up. One thing that I always do is I make it where you can turn assignments in early. If you have something that's coming up and you know it's coming up, I would prefer to do things early and not have them stack up on me. Now that being said, if you're not one that wants to do it ahead of time and you're going to be late, the earlier you tell me, the more apt I am to work with you on that. But for the most part, assignments are due when they're posted in Moodle, or the due date that's in Moodle and on the syllabus. Last thing, all coursework must be handed in using Moodle. I do not like to accept anything hard copy or in email. Every once in a while I'll make an exception, but for the most part, please stay in Moodle. I believe that's everything that's important in the syllabus. Please do read it, and when you are done reading the syllabus, if you will go out here to your first week assignment, you can look and there's a syllabus sign-off. I want you to open this up and then submit your sign-off to the syllabus. If you have any questions, please ask them in the Q&A forum. You can ask them down here and I'll try to answer them, but there's always a chance I'll miss them if it's just if you put your comments in there. But if you have questions, please ask them up here in the Q&A forum, and that way everybody can have a chance to see what kind of questions there are, and maybe it'll jar up some other questions. Anyway, welcome to BBA311. Looking forward to it. Hope you are, and I look forward to it. Thank you.